Welcome to Kendall O'Brien's 10th interview talk. I'm Kendall and this is Mr. O'Brien. He lets the Patriots just like me.
Well, welcome back. We've been off for a little while. Kendall, why?
We've been off for a little while because there's been snow days, there's been midterms, and it's been start of second semester.
Right. Yeah, it's been a busy week or so. So we appreciate everybody watching the show. Kendall, Tom Brady's retirement for good now, he's saying. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's good. I'm happy for him. I think it's time to hang up the cleats and pursuing the broadcast. And
yeah, I do agree with you, Kendall, on that. I know you and I went back and forth about some potential teams he might end up on, but as it turns out, apparently, if he didn't go back to Tampa again, he was going to retire anyway. So a lot of that, there was not a lot of truth to some of those rumors that we were talking about.
No, there was not.
But I agree with you. He's accomplished a lot. He's had a phenomenal career. It's probably the best thing for him.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
So, it's been a little while, but AFC and NFC championship recaps. Kendall, AFC championship game. Bengals lost 23-20, and Joe Burrow just didn't get it done against Pat Mahomes. What happened?
What happened was there was a lot of turnovers in that game. Bad plays by both teams, and the Chiefs ended up winning the game with a field goal.
Yeah, I agree. And that field goal was set up by a 15-yard penalty right there at the end of the game, and that was the end of the game. So, NFC Championship, Eagles 31-7 over the 49ers, a blowout, Kendall. There was a lot that went on in that game, though, that contributed to that score, I think.
Yeah, it was a big blowout. Brock Purdy got hurt. The backup quarterback, Josh Johnson, got hurt, and then they almost had to turn to the running back, Christian McCaffrey.
I know. In a playoff game, can you believe that?
I can't believe that.
I think there's talk about potentially shifting some of those rules around about how they ended up in that situation. I mean, They ended up putting Purdy back in, but he couldn't throw the ball. And, the backup quarterback got a concussion. So I think they're going to look at those rules a little bit moving forward.
Yeah.
So the stage has been set, Kendall. Super Bowl 57, Kansas City versus the Eagles. Do you think it's going to be a good game?
I think it's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's two powerful offenses. Patrick Mahomes, he looks great. The Eagles look great. I really think that they are the two best teams in the NFL, so this is probably fitting that they're in the Super Bowl. Okay? Some storylines coming into this week. Andy Reid, playing against his old team. 14 years with the Eagles. It's only the fifth time in history that a coach played against his former team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They say if he wins this game, it's probably a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame. Do you agree with that? Do you agree
I agree with that.
Yeah. Kelsey brothers, right? What's going on there?
What's going on there? It's the first time ever that somebody's had to play their brother in a Super Bowl, and it's going to be crazy.
It is. First time two brothers played each other in the Super Bowl. I didn't know that. I'd assumed that happened before, but I think maybe just in regular season play. But the first time. Too. So that's pretty cool for their family to watch the two brothers play each other in one of the biggest games, right?
Yeah, I don't know who the mom's going to vote for.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a pretty fun Super Bowl day, right, for their family?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun to watch.
First time these two teams, Eagles and Kansas City, have ever played each other in the Super Bowl, ever.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me. What are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts on that? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a madhouse game.
Another storyline for the week, Patrick Mahomes, the ankle. What do you think? Is that going to be a factor at all in this game?
I don't know. I don't think it is. He said 2 weeks off to rest, to get ready for the Super Bowl, get back into his game, and play like how he normally does.
I agree with you. I think he played great in the AFC Championship game. He's had 2 weeks off. He's a pretty mobile quarterback. I'm going to go right to it, Kendall. Who is your pick for the Super Bowl?
I'm going with Eagles. They look fantastic these last few months, and I think it's going to come down to it.
Okay, I'm gonna split a little bit here with you, Kendall. I'm gonna go definitely. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I just think Patrick Mahomes is gonna be too much for the Eagles to handle. I think they're gonna win by a touchdown. All right.
Okay.
So that's my pick. Halftime show. Rihanna, halftime show. First time she's performed since 2018. A lot of hype about the halftime show.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype. She's a good singer, so I can't wait to see what she does at the halftime show.
Yeah, something like the most single hits in the 21st century or something like that. So yeah, it should be a pretty good halftime show.
Should be a pretty good halftime show. I know that I'll definitely watch her.
Commercials. Kendall, that's everybody's favorite in the Super Bowl, commercials. I have not seen any previews of any, but I do know that Downy, Doritos, M&M's, Planters Peanuts, and Popcorners, those little wafer nacho chip things. So I know that those there are going to be commercials there, just to name a few. And some Super Bowl facts. The last 8 teams to win the coin toss, what happened?
They've lost the Super Bowl.
That's an amazing statistic. So the last 8 coin tosses, the team has lost. Do you know who won the first Super Bowl ever in history?
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers won the first Super Bowl in history.
And it was against
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, right. I believe it was 1967. Also, Super Bowl, it's the second highest eating day behind what holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, all right. That sounds about right. Well, here's an easy one for you, okay? Who won the most Super Bowls ever as a player?
Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, also known as the GOAT, if people don't know that.
That's right. The recently retired Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls. I don't know if you remember last year, Kendall, but we did our favorite Super Bowl food. And go ahead, what's yours?
I'm going with ribeye. I love eating ribeye.
Going with ribeye, okay. I'm going to go with beef Wellington this year. Beef with that little doughy, flaky bread stuff there.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to go with. So it should be a great game. I hope everybody enjoys the Super Bowl this year. This show wouldn't be complete, though, if we didn't have a little bit of Patriots talk. Okay, Patriots and coaching. Bill O'Brien, officially named offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts about that?
I think it's going to be great for Mac. I think it's going to be great for the whole system. This is his second stint in New England, so, let's see what he's got.
I agree. Bill O'Brien has a lot of experience. He's been with the Patriots before. He's good with the quarterbacks. I think he's very strict. Okay, I think he's going to have that offense together, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Are there any other coaching changes that went on in the last week or so?
Yeah, the tight end coach left. I don't think there's anything else.
So far, so good, right? Okay. Do you think Bill Belichick was nudged a little bit by the owner, Robert Kraft, to make some of these coaching changes?
I think what happened was, the end of last season, Robert Kraft was like, hey, this is not working. We gotta figure something out and get this team back on the right track to where they used to be.
I agree with you 100% right there. So what happens to Patricia and Judge? Will they stay on the team coaching anywhere?
What happens to them? They leave New England and go somewhere else to coach.
I'm not so sure, though, about Matt Patricia. He's had a lot of success here in different roles, and I'm thinking that he may end up somewhere else on the coaching staff. Let me ask you this. How long do you think Bill Belichick will actually coach the Patriots for? How many more years?
I think he'll coach for like 2 or 3 seasons,
That sounds about
He's
right.
the best coach in history.
He is the best coach in history. He's also chasing Don Shula's record, and I think once he hits that, maybe he'll step back and end up in a front office role or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I don't know if you've heard too. Another favorite topic of ours, Tom Brady, on his podcast had Bill Belichick last week, and seems like they're almost like the best of friends. Hearing them talk.
I think they are the best of friends.
So we'll see what happens. Do you think that Tom Brady will come out of retirement as Bob Kraft wishes and do a one day contract and retire as a New England Patriot?
I think he will retire as a Patriot. I think so many fans would love to see that Tom Brady would come home. But, I don't think it's up. I don't think he's going to decide that right now. I think it's going to take a little bit for him to decide that. Let him spend some time with the family and get ready to go for the broadcasting.
I agree with you. I think that's what will happen. I think eventually that day will come. I just don't know how soon. But we'll be looking forward to that. Sean Payton. A lot of talk about Sean Payton, NFL coach. What happened there?
Well, what happened is he's headed to the Denver Broncos. Broncos weren't as good as last season, but I think they can turn things around and get back on the right track to possibly win another Super Bowl.
So how do you think he'll get along with Russell Wilson, being a star like that?
I think he'll get along good with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson did not have his best season last season. But, if he can get back on track to where he was in Seattle, he could possibly go win one of these.
No, I agree with you. $17 to $20 million in a first and a second round pick. Does sound like a lot of compensation for a coach.
It is. That's madhouse.
On to the next topic, Kendall. Unified basketball. You are known as the three-point queen. Knocking down a couple threes in the game last week.
Knocking down 2 3-pointers and one good steal. 6 3-pointers on the season. How can you beat that?
That's fantastic. So the game versus Biddeford last week was the start of a 4-game home stretch here at York High School for Unified. When's the next game? I believe it's sometime in February 13th.
I believe it's at home next Monday, so be there, be ready to go.
It is. It is on the 13th versus Massabesic. Looking for a big crowd at that game?
I'm looking for everybody I got now.
Fantastic.
I mean, that was crazy. Everybody was there cheering us on last Monday, but I'm looking for a better crowd.
Yeah, that was great. That was really, it was a big crowd. It was a fun game. We'd like to thank everybody for watching our show today. And please, if you get a chance, like our YouTube channel and enjoy Super Bowl 57. And we'll see you soon on our Celtics and Bruins podcast.
Yeah, we will. Bye.
Enjoy the game.